back to another episode of ScapeGOAT Interviews, where I go around the town, I highlight the talented creatives who are doing their thing. Who am I here with today?
Your boy Lemar Spacely of Space Network Media. I'm here with my boy Chief Shango at ScapeGOAT Radio. I'm glad to be here, man.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here too. So let's talk about yourself for a little bit, man. So let's talk about your upbringing. Where are you from?
Well, I'm really from Allentown. Grew up here most of my life. I was born in Jersey, so I like to say I'm from Allentown by way of New Jersey. You know what I mean? Had a little bit of time in there. My family, most of my family's still out there, but Allentown is really where my roots are.
Okay, so let's talk about Allentown for a little bit. Let's talk about what part you're from. What part of Allentown you from?
Allentown, South side Allentown. Grew up on pretty much every side of the South Side you could think of. Roosevelt area by Jefferson, OTS area, all sides. If you're familiar with Allentown and the South Side, you've probably seen me around.
All right, best. So let's talk about how was it growing up in the South Side of Allentown?
South Side, it was chill. Like Allentown, it's not, I mean, everywhere has a little good ghetto, has a little hood, but for the most part, it's been cool. I can't say I've had problems growing up unless I involved myself with something. But other than that, upbringing was good. Family good, parents treated me well, kept me with the essentials of life and things I wanted. So I say it was all right.
Speaking of the things you wanted, let's talk about how like your hobbies and your interests growing up. What interests you as a kid? What piqued your interest growing up?
Oh shit, I definitely loved. Besides like boring shit like school and all that, like I liked history class. That was one aspect of school, but I liked anime, action figures, video games, stuff like that. And I like to do deep dives behind the stuff that I'm into. So if I'm into something, I'll go and research it for hours and hours and get the knowledge behind it, so I'm really familiar with what I'm into. It's not really just about being into hobbies, about knowing it, having a feel for it, being familiar and all that.
Okay, let's talk about how was it growing up in your teenage years and your adult life. How was it compared to your childhood? Did it get better? Was it, different? Like, was it what you expected growing up in Allentown?
I think it's pretty much like any typical kid growing up out here. Just go to school every day, you might get into something. You might hang with a rough crowd, you know what I mean? Dabble in some things, you know what I mean? Smoke a little weed, do a little cigarette every now and then. As a young high schooler, just experimenting. Mine was cool. I did not everything, but I did enough where I could say I've had a real teenager experience. I've had the girls, experimented with, I can't even say I did drugs. I only ever smoked weed, did cigarettes for a little bit, run around.
Jax is crazy.
Different groups of friends, whether we was hanging in the street, in school type of groups, different stuff. I was really a real teenager, I would say.
Then they influenced you to be the person you are today, would you say?
I would say it definitely had an effect. And I mean, I definitely feel like I was able to take things I learned through the years and apply it in a way where I'm able to be my own person and not say individuals influence me, but the experiences I've had influence me.
Right. That's good. That's cool. So let's talk about Space Network Media. I'm gonna say Space Network Radio.
Space Network. We might have to start Space Network Radio, man. I'm trying to do all different types of stuff. It's just all about connecting with the right people.
So let's talk about Space Network Media. How did that come about?
Well, one day, it was about like 2018. It was me and a group of friends, and I noticed my friends, they all had different stuff going on, or they was trying different things, whether it was making clothes, doing music. So I said, how can I be beneficial to the friend group? It might sound weird, like you think being a part of friend group, you should be adding stuff, or you think you owe people things, but it's not really that. It's just you want to be able to do great things with the people around you. If y'all are able to elevate, you should do that. But I just said, what can I do? I've always been into, like I said, research, studying people, studying different events and stuff like that. Like growing up, like my parents, especially my mom, she just real familiar like with pop culture and shit that was going on. So just being around my parents and stuff like that, they grew up with all types of music. They grew up in the hip hop era. pretty much everything that made pop culture what it is today, I have some familiarity with, so I like to apply that. So I said, let me start something where I could shine a light on things I know and I'm into and give light to the people I'm around, to whatever it is they doing. So this came with Space Network Media.
Word. And can you walk us through maybe like your process when you do your research, when you conduct your journalism?
Okay, so really, I just do my Googles all day. I see you got to stay on the internet, and it sucks too because me growing up, my generation, we are the last generation that's seen life before social media
Right.
and the facade of social media and things like that. So sometimes I cringe when I have to be online and I just read and see all the sensationalist bullshit and people act in a certain way, but you know them for real, or just the terrible things that are going on in the world, atrocities, war, different shit like that. But you just got to keep up. You know what I mean? You got to keep your sources relevant. Make sure that you fact check everything. You don't want to just write something or post about something and you don't know what you're talking about, or it's a parody account that you're reading from, or a parody website like the National Inquisitor or some bullshit. You know what I mean? That just puts out sensationalist journalism. There's a lane for that, but that's not really what I wanted to be associated with. I wanted to give light to the things that I love, give light to the people that I care for, and just take media into a different light.
Word. So I've seen like some of your pieces that you've done, you know, in the past couple years. I've even seen during the pandemic there was a commotion going on I think Hamilton Street.
Oh yeah,
Which actually,
George Floyd protest.
The George Floyd protest, and it actually got you in direct physical contact with the mayor.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, so everybody knows about the George Floyd protest. Me and my man's Wody, shout out to him. We just met up one day randomly on Hamilton. You know what I mean? We knew the protest was about to start. And, you know, some time goes by, everybody's there, goings are going on. And in one instance, we just by the courthouse. You know what I mean? The crowd is there, everybody's doing what they do, protesting. And then you just see this little frail white dude with a pink shirt in the middle of the crowd. And my man, he's like, yo, bro, that's the mayor. You know what I mean? We had our phones out, the cameras and everything. And this is when Space Network was early. So why not take the opportunity? The mayor's right there. So without even a second thought, I just went up to him. I forgot even what I said. It was so quick. I wish I could have asked more, had a real conversation. But I just pretty much asked him, like, how does he feel about what's going on? Does he support it and all that? And he went on about his way. He's not even the mayor now. I don't know what happened to him, but you know what I mean? It was a cool little experience.
Do you involve Space Network Media into, you know, like what political stance do you usually take?
See, that's the thing, man. You trying to get me, you trying to trip me up, I see. But nah, man.
Gotta test the waters a little bit.
People ask me that all the time when political questions or societal questions come up. And the best thing I've learned is you will never know what I truly think because I'm never going to express it online. I'm here to inform, spread the word, educate, those type of things. There's certain things I speak my mind on if I feel passionately about it, but for the most part, I'm an open book. Like I like to hear all sides. I like to play devil's advocate. I like to be objective to certain things, unbiased, biased to certain things maybe sometimes, but you will never really know where my stance is on something unless you see me out there protesting for it, representing it, or something like that. I never want to put myself in a position to trip myself up and think I'm saying something that's righteous, but I'm offending somebody else. I gotta pick my words carefully. I understand that I have a platform. I gotta say the right things, do the right things, give light to what's important. But as far as my personal beliefs and all that, I don't put that out there for the people to know. You may ask me personally, off camera, but it's not for me to just discuss out on the forum. I don't ever want to offend anybody or make it seem like I'm crazy or some shit like that.
Okay, that's respectable. So we could shift from the politics and not into the creative standpoint of things.
Let's do it.
I've noticed also the past couple of years, you are the main platform in the Valley, one of the main platforms at least, that
I appreciate that.
you highlight the talent and the creatives throughout the city. Let's talk about that for a second. You know, what got you into doing that, interviewing the talent and like the creators, rappers, producers, clothing, fashion people?
One thing I say, it's not wrong to be inspired. I've been inspired by the people I watch on YouTube. I watch interviews all day. I study different podcasts. That's how Space Network Media started. I started out as a podcast, but I ended up doing different things. I just study some of the greats that I see on YouTube in the media space, especially the black media space, hip hop media space. You got your Joe Buttons, your Wendy Williams, your different platforms and all that. Elliot Wilson. Of course, there's other outlets. There's academics. There's No Jumpers out there. There's shade rooms. There's all different types of people. Not everybody inspires me, but there are a couple of those people. So I just see what they do. Try not to mold myself after them, but see what they do and do things differently from what they do it. But if it's something I like, I may try to implement it or, put my own twist on it. But yeah, I just studied the greats and I just wanted to really give a different energy to media. Like I said, we got certain media outlets that is not very favorable to us. Sometimes you might be an Indian kid running an account on some shit, or some white investment group profiting off of what's going on in our culture. So I said, why not cycle that through us?
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, what is your process when you go to interview people in the city?
So
or in the Valley in general, between Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton.
So when I interview people, I like to study it, whatever it is they do. I like to at least get a little bit of common knowledge. If they make music, I listen to their catalog. If they make clothes, I check out what clothes they like. I study a little bit of fashion, see if they're similar to anybody. I just study the person. I study the creative. I study the artist. And the way I just think about questions, I like to challenge people. I like to make them think about things that they might not normally think about. Ask them questions that you might not normally hear. But I don't ever like to put nobody on the spot or nothing like that. I like to make people feel comfortable. I ask people, yo, is there anything that you don't want to speak about? I make sure that everybody that comes onto my platform is comfortable. It's a safe space. I like to get into bullshit if necessary, but I make sure the person I'm speaking to, that we're on the same level. I'm never just blindsiding them with some bullshit for content reasons or anything like that. So yeah, that's how I go about it.
As you bring the media to the internet, to the public, what are the upsides and downsides of doing your work? Whether it be researching for the news, putting the headlines on the internet, or interviewing the talent that's around the Valley.
Shit, man, it's all types of things you gotta be worried about. Doing it alone isn't easy. It's literally just me. You know what I mean? If I need help, if I'm out doing something and one of my people lends me a hand, that's probably the most help I get, really. It's tough, but I try to stay with it. Now, I mean, there's days, like I said, just being on the internet, that shit is brain rot. Just seeing all the different stuff. Are we really supposed to have access to the world in the way that we do? So that part gets tough. Copyrights. Gotta make sure you're not stealing people's shit. Gotta make sure you give people credit for things. Gotta make sure you're doing things the right way. You gotta make sure you're doing real research, having real sources, finding people worth talking to. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to talk, but nobody really has anything to talk about. People they just want to sit in front of a camera, but when the camera comes on, they freeze up. Don't really have much to say. Can't really express themselves, but they just want to be seen. You know what I mean? I could appreciate wanting to be seen, but I like when people have a little bit more substance to themselves. So that's a challenge sometimes, finding people to sit down with, because it's like you want to give people the light, but you don't want to just talk to anybody. Because a lot of times you'll find out these are motherfuckers that's probably not ready for the lane they're trying to get into. But I try to encourage whatever people doing, stick with it, see if it does work out. But you know what I mean? Even just writing on certain subject matter. People in the city will be mad at you if you write about that their man's killed somebody in cold blood, shit like that. Man, people will do heinous crimes and there'll be a family member or somebody that you know, and it's not that I'm shitting on the person. This is public knowledge. I'm just spreading the word. I mean, just somebody in the community, somebody be worried for their safety, some worried about their family's safety, some shit like that. I'm just breaking out the information.
If you have to combat that situation, that specific situation you just said, how do you combat that?
Oh, just block them. That's it. Simple block.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? To me, just I realize just trying to build this platform. You have things to lose too. Like you can't just be sliding in every bitch's DMs talking crazy, you know what I mean? Like I'm still a guy, but I gotta realize like
it's real.
I'm building towards something, so I can't just be reckless like that. If somebody does come at me, I just can't be like, fuck you, nigga, suck my dick. I just report news. Now I just gotta let them know, like, yo, man, it's not that I'm trying to shit on you peoples or nothing. This is public knowledge. You're not talking to Team Z or the WFMZ people like that. You're not talking to Morning Call people like that.
True.
If academics report on you, want to talk to him like that. So why me? I'm just trying to build a lake for myself and what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But I understand. I could definitely understand people being upset because their family member, they got to see comments of just other people degrading and running their name through the mud of their loved one and shit like that. But it gets tough sometimes. I just got best thing, just block people. Just block it all out.
So what's the upsides?
The upsides,
How does this benefit Lemar Spacely?
learning every day, just being able to learn something that I didn't know the previous day. And don't give a fuck if it sounds cliche, just honestly being able to, whether it could be something so frivolous like, oh, you didn't know fucking a certain color existed, they just discovered a new species of bird or something. It's something random. It's just learning. That's one thing I appreciate and love about just being in this space. Learning about people, meeting new people, learning about whatever business they're into. That's it. Really the education of everything, and going out and actually getting the work done. Like days where I know I'm going to sit down with somebody and have an interview. Sometimes you think like, damn, you be a little nervous. You just hope that it turns out okay. But at the end of every one, I'm like, yo, that shit was fire, or that one was good. And I mean, some are better than others. But I just try to go into it, and I mean, cast all doubt to the side, go in to whatever it is I'm doing, and just let the results show for themselves. I think that's the best benefit of it, for real.
Speaking of results, I've noticed, throughout the years, guys like me, I've watched your content since, 2021, maybe
Early supporter.
2020. I've seen, you kind of give off like, you kind of remind me of like Zach TV. RIP Zach TV.
Zach TV.
You kind of remind me of that because when I used to watch you back in the day, you was out there. You was really out there in the public. You was just interviewing all the talent that was popping. You was going to these events, showcasing events with your camera, that sort of thing. And you were like that middleman from the talent to the people in the city that may or may not know what's going on. How does that make you feel knowing that you were able to bring all these things to the limelight to the people that may or may not know what's going on?
Like I said, man, it's always a great feeling. But I won't even lie, it's like since the pandemic, and I gotta put it all on myself that I have been slacking a little bit. You know what I mean? Just being in for those 2 years, I got acclimated. I got used to staying inside. Sometimes I'd be afraid to go outside. Somebody say something's going on, I start hyperventilating and shit. I'd be like, damn, do I want to go? Do I want to participate?
You and me both, man. Sometimes I just be like, damn, I don't even got the social battery right now.
Exactly. Like I'll say that that definitely had an effect on me. But even after that, there's been times where I popped out and did more. But it's always good to just, like I said, give the light to the people that I find interesting, the people that I care for that are doing things, and just to see that other people from wherever they from, just discovering them, seeing how they get traffic and traction to what their social media page and shit after I post something that they did with me. It's always a good feeling, man, just to be able to build with people, because like I said, it's not just benefiting me, it's benefiting everybody I'm around if we all doing the work together. But oftentimes I find myself trying to put things together and all that, so it's all just about figuring stuff out.
Yeah, because even though there's other people doing it, I feel like your platform and maybe a few others are like the only people that really care about the youth, care about the people that's really coming out. Because like I noticed, like, we have a whole lot of talent, but you just don't have the support from, not even just from like other places, just from within.
Not even within your friend group.
Within the friend group, within the city.
Bro, I could write a book about that shit, man, if you get me started.
You and me both, pal.
Cause like I said, man, like just being around people for so many years, it can't get disheartening when you've been around people for so long and y'all doing everything that's relatively the same or that can benefit each other, and motherfuckers just don't want to come together. They just can't seem to put whatever, I don't know what it is. I don't know if niggas don't really fuck with you or niggas have some type of fake animosity or what, but it just like in those certain situations, niggas talk about it all day when they together, but when it comes time to do something, it's either one person doing it themselves or everybody's missing and doing their own thing, not even coming together to be greater. But like sometimes maybe that might be people's path. They gotta be by themselves and do things a certain way and find their own lane. Sucks. Wish we could all be friends and do everything together, but maybe that's not the way it should be.
Would you prefer it that way, to have everybody come together?
Absolutely. I would love to do things with friends I've known since elementary and middle school, and we all do things that are similar to each other in the same vein of the media creative space. But you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can only do but so much for grown ass people. If they don't see the vision in themselves or for themselves, they're not gonna see it in whatever you're doing. And like I said, this shit sucks, but I learned when I try to bring people around me. I give them a couple times. I whatever it is I'm doing, whatever it is I've all done, any of my people, I try to give them that, like, yo, got this going on, you want to come through with me to do this, do that. I don't do that but a couple times, and then I stop, because once I see, like, yo, we've been talking about this for years, here's the opportunity here, but you're not taking the opportunity, I'm wiping my hands, because we still be cool, we still friends, we can still hang out whenever we feel like it, but
just when it comes to business, it's just...
You just, I probably don't want to do nothing with you until I see that drive from you. Until I see you want to do this, then I could be like, all right, let's try this again. But a lot of times I just like to be done with, like, nah, shouldn't just waste no time. I mean, when you're ready, you'll be ready. But you can't hold anything up because you want to sit on the side of the road. I mean, you just gotta keep that shit going. Like, even with the new shit, it's hard. Days be slow. News is whack. And it's a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? But you still gotta do something. I still gotta post in the story, let y'all know I'm alive, let y'all know something's going on in the world. Let y'all know LeBron just signed with a betting company, or somebody just had a new shoe deal, or this just happened on this side of the world, or Allentown just passed this bill or something. Still gotta make sure that the name is still spreading around somehow.
Speaking of Allentown, now that you have a couple of years under your belt now, have you noticed a change within the city, whether good or bad?
Gentrification, shit like that, trying to get us niggas out of here.
Yeah, you want to speak about that for a little bit?
Yo, wow, a lot of this shit looks fly, man. All it is just making shit more expensive and more difficult for motherfuckers that like you and me. You know what I mean? I would definitely love to live in one of them $1,800 condos or apartments on Hamilton, but
I wish I could, but I'm broke.
yeah, nah, I mean, shit's hard. Shit's hard out here, man. It's cool. It's cool to see that Allentown is building itself up. Like when music fest or whatever's going on, we get more people, like more notable acts and stuff. So like that's always cool. It's just sad that when certain things are getting built up, somebody has to be affected in some way. Now I mean that's always the bad part. But if we're able to stay afloat, you know what I mean, and be able to enjoy the benefits of what the city's providing, you know what I mean, why not take advantage? You know what I mean, why not mingle a little bit, have fun and enjoy while you can? I mean, just do what you can for the city, do what you can for the community, and if you feel like you need to spread your wings, do that. But
speaking of spreading your wings, I've also noticed besides journalism, you've also provided other services too, like photography, photo shoots, and things of that nature. You want to talk about that for a little bit?
I wouldn't call myself a photographer or anything like that just yet. But I definitely want to put that in a repertoire, you know what I mean? Like I want to be able to do different things. I want to be able to, if somebody needs me, yo, you think you take pics for me? I'm ready. Yo, you can do a couple shots for this video. I got my camera ready. I just like to be prepared. I like to just be a sort of Swiss Army knife of reporting. I think that should be, if you're doing this from the blogging aspect, know what I mean, or from the internet creative aspect, not really the college way. Just having those things and learning those habits and hobbies of with the camera, studying different articles, studying real like grammar and shit like that, all that is important. But I definitely love just being behind the camera too. I love pictures, I love video and shit. I'm just really trying to get better at it so then I'm able to bring some real revenue to the business. Now, I mean, I'm doing shit off the love right now, to be honest with you. So whenever somebody needs me for a call and able to provide a service, and like you, bro, like shit, man, you probably the first person that paid me to ever do something. Shit, that shit almost brought a tear to my eyes. So it's like shit like that. If I'm able to, I'm always there. If people need me to do something, if I could lend my camera out, or people need to use my green screen, I'm all for it. But I definitely like to perfect my craft behind the camera with the photography and videography. But I definitely would not jack that I'm a photographer right now. I don't want to be disrespectful to a couple of my people that really do it.
Hey, I bet you they would appreciate that you're at least trying to get into that. You know,
Yeah,
they would
man.
happily help you if you asked. You know.
Yeah, sometimes that's one thing about me, man. I feel like everybody tries to be for themselves. At the same time, like I said, it would be great if we all come together. But I know it's a lot of people like to gatekeep and keep shit close in and tuck. They don't like to. Everything comes with a price. Everything has to come with a price. People don't just want to help educate and put other people on so they can build themselves. So everything motherfuckers, can you believe motherfuckers charge just to ask questions and shit for consultation on different shit that even certain real businesses don't even charge consultation for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of weird shit. A lot of people feel entitled. This new business, this new grind era that we in. You know what I mean? Of course, everybody should be grinding and doing what they doing, but when you it's crabs in the barrel type shit, it's not cool. Not to me, at least. I like to see everybody win. I'm not gonna withhold something so I can get a farther jump and then throw you crumbs and shit. Nah, it's not how I like to do shit.
We're speaking of seeing everybody win. To wrap this up, I would like to ask, you know, if any aspiring journalists or children wanting to get into media, anybody in general, if they're watching, what would be your word of advice to them?
Honestly, go to school for this shit. You gotta get the real education on it. But if you don't have the means like me, just study. Study the shit. Learn the rights and the wrongs of the business. Don't get yourself caught up. Don't get yourself into some shit, you know what I mean, where you getting strike down left and right, or you getting caught for plagiarizing. Be original. Be concise. Be clear on what you're talking about. Be interesting. Just be yourself, or even if it's something that you're just into. It don't even have to be about political news or world news or city, local news. You just be reporting on some shit, some anime shit, some video game stuff, whatever it is. Just be informative. Make sure you know what you're talking about. If you can, if you really want to take it to that level, which I'll probably consider if I get everything right in life. I would like to go to school for the shit and get the real education. But we've seen people that we know that don't necessarily have that academics say cheese. You know what I mean? We don't know. I don't know if these niggas been to college, but they were able to build a platform. So how is it not possible for anybody else? You know what I mean? Just if you can do it the old college way, do it. If you're able to build it through the internet and through word of mouth and your peoples, even greater.
All right. This has been another episode of ScapeGOAT Radio. I'm Chief Shango. This is Lemar Spacely.
Space Network Media. Make sure y'all check everything out. Space Network Media on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Having a secondary page of the Space Network Media on Instagram. I'll give them the link tree. That'll be all in the description. You can find all my links there. And support your boys, man.
That's it. We out.